Hi everybody. Today we are talking about math skills and how often your son or daughter is keeping their math skills fresh over the summer. Because math is one of those topics that if you ignore it for a few months, or there are gaps in your knowledge and you bring those gaps, as small as they might be, into the next grade, and then you take those small gaps and take them into the next grade and the next grade, it very well may come back to haunt you. Even if you're a good student, if you're an A student and you got a 95 in your math class, that sounds pretty good, right? Well, a 95 means there's a 5% gap in your knowledge and your understanding. And if you take that 5% gap to sophomore year and another 5% and another 5%, by the time you're doing differential equations, you're doing pre-calculus, you're doing things that are a little bit more advanced, you may have hit a ceiling. That's what we're talking about today. Hi everybody, I'm Phil Black. I run an online mentoring program called PrepWell Academy, where I help to mentor and coach kids, rising teenagers, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, help them make smart decisions about high school, about classes, about studying, about college, about majors, and about life. And one of the big ones that I sign them with over the summer is to keep their brain math active. I talk to math teachers all the time, and they tell me that the first 3 or 4 months of the year, they are going back in time and reminding all these kids what they learned the last year. That is not very efficient, to stop 1 year, then go dark for 3 months, and then spend another 3 months rehashing and reviewing all the stuff that you forgot over the summer. I don't want that to be your son or daughter. So what do we do to keep their minds active on the topic of math over the summer? Well, the most elegant solution to that is called Khan Academy. You've probably heard this before. That's K-H-A-N, Khan Academy. And it's very easy, it's very simple. Most of your kids probably have an account through school, but maybe they haven't looked at it. Maybe they haven't engaged in a while. Maybe they haven't tested it in a while. So have them get back in there and start doing modules and doing practice tests and doing mastery quizzes. So the way Khan Academy works, for instance, if you're a rising freshman, if you're a PrepWell Academy student, you've been assigned to master all of the 8th grade modules, all of the 8th grade curriculum. So you go into Khan Academy, you click on 8th grade, and you have a 0 in the beginning. You have a 0% mastery in 8th grade. Now, over the summer, by now, the rising freshmen should be about 60 or 70% of the way through to completion of all of 8th grade concepts. I don't want them going into 9th grade necessarily. I mean, if they're a whiz-bang kid, they can jump ahead if they want, but I don't want them stepping foot into 9th grade math until they have absolutely mastered, through Khan Academy, every mathematical concept up and through 8th grade. Even if they're in an advanced class, that's okay. I want no gaps in learning. I don't want any building blocks that are not being met, because I don't want any gaps when they go into 9th grade. I want them with 100% understanding. Then when they learn the new stuff, great. Then next summer, they go through and they master all of the 9th grade math topics so that there are no gaps in the foundation. Math is a topic that requires cumulative knowledge. It's not something like you can skip something. Oh, I never really quite got how to break down a complex fraction or a compound fraction, or I didn't quite get how to plot something on a number line. If you didn't quite get it, you still might get a good grade, but it's going to catch up with you in the end. So talk to your son or daughter today. Ask them if they're engaged in Khan Academy. Now, if you're a PrepWell parent, your son or daughter very well better be doing it. And I talk to the students all the time, and even my kids are on a 2-week Boy Scout trip, so they had to get a little bit ahead. I think they're both in the 65-70% completion rate for all of 8th grade. They're going to have to get busy to finish off 100% completion of 8th grade math before they step foot in 9th grade in a few weeks. I hope this has been helpful. Give me a thumbs up. Give me some feedback if this is helpful for you. Or if you found a different way that you've been able to keep your son or daughter's brain active on the math side. Now, of course, they can read books and do other enrichment things, but it's very easy to ignore and blow off math because we don't really do it in our everyday lives. So please do that. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've come up with any other strategies or tips. I come here every day and try to give you a tip, a little prompt, a little heads up on something to do to help your son or daughter get ahead, stay prepared for the coming year. If you have other topics or suggestions that you'd like me to cover, please put them in the comments below. I will get back to you as best I can, or maybe even use your question as a topic for tomorrow's episode. If you like what you hear at PrepWell Academy, join us at PrepWellAcademy.com. I'd love to have you part of the community. We are likely going to be opening up enrollment for PrepWell Academy again in September for a short period of time. Love to see you there as well. If this has been interesting to you, share it with a friend, tag somebody, put their name on here, send it to them. Maybe they need a little help. Maybe their son or daughter is a rising freshman, sophomore, junior, senior who needs to hear this message. They need to hear a third party telling them that math is really important, particularly if they think they want to go into engineering, math, science, STEM. Math is going to be extremely important in their lives. So get after it. Thanks for joining, and see you tomorrow.